Alright everybody, welcome back to Feeziks Games, taking another look at ShapezIO. Trying to beat level 25 now. So we got this little shape here, and it is two sets of green squares, opposite corners, and one of these shapes, like we had last time, again in white. So this actually seems easier than the last one. I don't know why it has us doing this next instead of before, but I'm gonna go back to the same location just because we have this shape already made. Hopefully there's a square nearby. We can check for that real quick. There's one over here. That's close enough. I can bring it over, and all we're gonna need to do is make white paint. Green is already just green, so unless I'm missing something big here, this seems like this should be pretty easy. So let's start by making that white paint again. So once again, we just get this little stacker we got here. I'm gonna put it, I don't know, over here somewhere. Seems good enough to me. We'll set our inputs for that. We'll probably want to make multiple. See if I can make 3 or 4 of these factories again. And like last time, I realized that I was using white paint way faster than I expected. Let's try to be a little more cognizant of that this time. So I'm only going to need white paint for the one shape. So to get 16 a second here, I'm going to need 8 a second if I use those double painters. So one white paint factory can supply 2 of these shape factories. So if I want to make 4 lines, I only need 2 sets of white paint here. So let's make a second one. And then for this guy, it's all green, so I can take one square, paint it green, push it through the quad cutter, take the individual components and use those. And one factory should be able to, again, or one green paint extractor I should say, not a factory, it's just an extractor, should be able to provide for 2 of these shapes. So let's just start, let's make some white paint, and let's paint these guys up, and then we'll work on the square from there. Alright, so we got 2 white paint factories. Now let's put that into our not our quad painter for this guy, sorry, our dual painter for this guy. And then we'll have this guy as our white shape, and we'll work on the green after that. You know what? I messed this up already. Like I had said earlier, I gotta pay more attention to how the paint plays out into our factories. Right, okay. Let's just drop all that stuff. We can redo that. That wasn't too bad. So I want to take this and put it in to a 5 to 2, right? So that's exactly what we want. But I need to move this because I wanted that shape there. I guess I could get it from elsewhere, but that one also works out pretty well, so. Unfortunately, I gotta delete all this stuff. I'm not doing a whole lot of planning here after I specifically said, hey, we should do some more planning. But isn't that always the case, huh? Okay, so now we can do 4 painting factories, which essentially are gonna look like what? Oops, maybe I can get the paint coming in on the bottom instead of the top. We got the shapes coming in on that side. How do I want to lay this out? Could just have the shapes go over and around. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. So we'll do that. We gotta lay out 5 of these 4 times over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... oh wait, I'm laying it out all wrong. It should be like that. 5. Well, they're not exactly lined up. Usually I would go fix that, but you know what, whatever. It'll be how it is, and that's fine. Okay, the paint's hooked up, so let's get those shapes in there. We need 4 extractors. These 3 should be fine. This one's gonna be slightly hard, so maybe I actually turn these guys around. This guy comes up here. And we need that 1 to 5 again. Okay, so now we have 4 factories of these shapes painted white, running at 16 a second. Now we gotta get our green square pieces. So the first thing we're gonna do is paint our square green, and then we're gonna work on the cutting and the rotating and the stacking of that. Oh, now I see why it's hard. Can I stack? I can stack a shape with these opposite corners, right? I've been doing that. For a second there, I was like, wait, is this going to be hard because I can't just stack an empty on top of an empty space or something like that? But it seems like that should still be fine. I've been doing that, right? So, I guess we'll see. We'll find out. Okay, now we have 4 lines of 16 a second of fully green squares. This one should hit 16 a second soon. It just kind of takes a little bit for these to fill up our little 5-to-1. So we're gonna work on our cutting and stacking for these guys here. Let's just start over here. I know I'm gonna need the quad cutter. I'm gonna need 4 of them eventually, but for now I'm just gonna stick with 1. And let's see what shapes we're getting out. And we need opposite corners to stack on top of each other, I know that. I've actually done this a few times, so I probably want to make a little copy and pastable version, honestly. So we got a top right corner and a bottom right corner, so I could rotate either of these. So let's rotate this top one counterclockwise, right? Yep. And then we're gonna want to rotate this guy clockwise, I think. Maybe this guy. Let's rotate this middle one here counterclockwise as well. So now we should have opposite corners on all of them. Top left, bottom right, top left. Okay. And we are going to need those opposite shapes like this. So let me make sure I'm not crazy. And I can just stack these. Yeah, it works. I don't know what I'm thinking, why this should be harder, but it's not. But in any case, put these back. So we're gonna need to split, right? No doubt about that. So if we split there and split there, and I'm gonna want something like, I don't know if that's possible. I'm gonna need 4 stackers for this guy, right? So something like this. Every single one of these has to be split somehow. Which means we're gonna need some level of tunneling for them. So I can get 8 a second out of a single quad cutter here. And that's only taking 4 a second as an input. So I can get 4 of these per line. So for each line I can get up to 32 a second. And I would need 32 a second if I want to... yeah, if I want to have these guys here. So one thing I can actually do here, because these are all the same shape. If I rotate these bottom ones, now we'll get the opposite shapes, right? These corners and these corners. And what I can do here is take this filter, create a constant signal. I can generate the shape. Let's see how this works. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing here. So I need this code here. Which gives me that. And I could put it in. And now I have 2 separate lines based off of that filter. Okay, and what speed are these guys running at? Let's check. I would expect each one to be half of the total speed, which we found before to be, I don't know, was it 8, I think? Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. So we can get up to the 4 second and we have it split for us already. So I think this is what we're gonna wanna end up copying here. Okay, so now we need to put that signal into all of these guys. So let's make a constant signal. I don't know, just put it somewhere, right? The end here. Enter that. Does that line them all up? It does. Okay. Zoop. Why didn't that work? Can I not do that? That's so weird. So now we've got a whole lot of those. Like a lot of those. And what did we say? Each one runs at 4 a second? Yes, each one runs at 4 a second. So I can combine 4 of them into a single line. So let's go to our splitter blueprints. 4 to 1. Go back. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put this somewhere in the middle-ish. Like here. And we'll need a second one for the opposite shapes. How fast does this filter work? 16, okay. I was gonna say, I just realized I forgot to check that, and that seems like that could have been bad. Alright, I want to see 16 a second on both of those lines, with no backups up here. And it looks like we're getting that. So that is good. Okay. So what I also want to do is delete all that excess, copy and paste that over, because I want to take all of this and copy it, and it looks like it just barely fits. Does that delete the wires layer? Something wrong with the wires now. What's wrong with the wires? Oh, okay, I see. Is it still bad? Yeah, I probably gotta delete all of these. Belt readers were getting in the way. That's interesting that the belt readers, when I paste them, also paste into the wires layer like that. Something to remember, I guess. In any case, so we have these 4 16 a second lines for each of those shapes that we're gonna need. And we have 4 of these 16 a second lines for each of the shapes we're gonna need, so we should be all set. We're gonna wanna get that compact 8 stacker that we have, copy that, come up here, and we're essentially gonna paste this down, I don't know, here-ish, right? And then we're gonna need a tunnel on each of them. And that output goes over one lane. And goes into another stacker. And I believe it'll go in on the right hand side, so I'll put it there for now. We can always move it, because we're going to want to put this at the bottom, and then this guy, and then we'll stack that result on top of this guy, right? So yeah, that makes sense. And we need these splitters. Should be 7 of them. Same as we've done in the past. Okay. So we need the lowest shape should be on this input. And the lowest shape we have is this guy. So we want top left, bottom right, green square, which is the one coming out of the sides. Stop doing that. Alright, whatever. Okay, so let's see, is that right? So we got Well, I guess what we can do is actually just do this. Come over here, put in a constant signal. And that constant signal is what we expect to get. We'll feed it over to there as an input. Oh, we have it on the wrong side. We'll do that again. Feed it over to there. Have these guys go in, and it looks like, yep, we're getting the right signal out. Okay. So we just copy and paste this for all of them, and we should be set. Okay, so we should hopefully have 4 full lines of this shape coming in right now. It's just a very long way to get here, so it's going to take a second, but here they come. And if this shape is right, like if we got it right here on the first try, I'm not sure why this is level 25. It seems like it's much easier than a lot of the previous levels. So unless there's some little gotcha that I'm missing here, it seems like this should go rather quickly. I would expect to see us delivering, what, like 64 a second or something, or 48, something like that, whatever 16 times 4 is. 64 a second, yeah. So I guess this level was just kind of a freebie. I'm not upset about it, I'm just very surprised, honestly. So with 64 a second, and we need 25,000 of them, should take about 7 minutes or so, 6.5 minutes. So we'll come back when that's done. I'm still, honestly, I know I've said it like 8 times, but just surprised by the level. It just seems like weirdly simple compared to the previous ones. Alright, looks like we're just finishing up that level. Level 24 completed, or 25. I gave you a whole bunch of new buildings which allow you to simulate the processing of shapes. So you can simulate cutting, rotating, stacking, and more on the wires layer. So you have 3 options to continue the game. We can build an automated machine to create any possible shape requested by the hub. I recommend to try it. Build something cool with wires, or continue to play normally. Whatever you choose, remember to have fun. There's a tutorial. I'm gonna skip it again. So it looks like we gotta make this rocket shape, and then after that it's free play, so I think it just generates random shapes from then on. In any case, if you liked the video, drop that like. If you didn't hit dislike, let me know why in the comments below, and feel free to hit subscribe. I think we're gonna go with that first option to try to make that automated machine, and then maybe from there we'll try to make something cool with the wires layer too. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But in any case, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.